We all have our daily routines. Go to the grocery store, drop your child off at daycare, go to the doctor's office. These are all things that we take for granted. I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'm not gonna assume that something bad's gonna happen. I'm just gonna get groceries. My child's gonna be safe. The doctor's gonna tell me great news. These are things that we neglect to see because in reality, when some people go to the grocery store and they're picking out a tomato, they get shot. Some people go to the doctor's office, they walk into a bomb. Some people go and drop their child off at daycare and their child is murdered. We have a huge life expectancy here. I'm expected to live probably 100 years. Slim, maybe about 50. Jason, 40 to 30. It differs, but we have that expectancy here. And that is something that we take for granted. You should listen to me because the current state of Syria will affect our global economy. And when the global economy goes down, all the prices go up. Amanda Soling, PhD of Middle Eastern Studies, stated that the people want the regime to end. The first thing I will talk about, in this speech I will talk about the current state of Syria. The first thing I will talk about is the origins of Syria. The second thing I will talk about is the Kurds within Syria. And the third thing I will talk about is the current president of Syria. First, we analyze the origins of Syria. Syria was considered the motherland, an innovative state that had religious freedom within it, and all the surrounding territories as Iran, Iraq, and Turkey, all the people would merge into that place because of a Muslim pressure that was in that area at that time. When Syria, within the last few hundred years, Syria turned into a Muslim and Islamic country which separated and divided the country in half. Several civil wars occurred religiously, geographically, and within a regime at the time. It was estimated by the UN and Dr. Shannon Owen, PhD in medical research and Middle Eastern affairs, international currency, stated that 10,000 people have lost their lives to reckless presidencies, reckless lives, and rebellions. The Kurds within the Syrian country are known as the minority. Second, I will discuss the Kurds within Syria. To be Kurdish within Syria is to know death, poverty, and to know discrimination. It has been a known mandate within the last few years that to be Kurdish is an act against Syria. And Syria is supposed to annihilate the Kurdish people, which is pretty tough because they are 50% of the population in Syria. So they are located in the northern part of Syria, and their origin was within Syria, Turkey, and Iran before Syria was even a country, when it was an Ottoman Empire. Their statesmanship has been revoked by the presidency, so they have no privileges within that country. They are forced to stay if they are in that country, in that part of the country. And soldiers, as in the Russian soldiers that reside there and the Syrian soldiers that reside there, kill Kurds with a passion. They cut off their genitals and they cut off their fingers, and some even wear them around their belt as trophies. The President Assad mandated that Kurds no longer need to have worth of life. If you do not celebrate the big religion of that country at that time, then you have no worth of living. Third, I will analyze the current President Assad. The current President Assad, President Obama, stated that he was an enemy of the empire, an enemy of justice, and an enemy of freedom. President Assad was within his father's rule for 2 to 3 generations. He was mandated into the presidency by birth. He had no credentials whatsoever. He practiced with the Russian troops and learned different torturous acts to keep his people in line. President Assad started a current genocide that affected 5,000 people within Syria were killed within the last few years. People have been silenced under Assad's regime. There is no liberal literature whatsoever within the country. He has controlled every single communication that goes into the country and outside of the country. When people try to watch TV, it's nothing but propaganda. People just see the good things in Syria. Assad has been commanded for mandatory ceasefires from his inhumane acts within Syria. The killing of his own people is not justified in any way. Assad and Russia are close allies with each other. Russia supports Syria even though he does commit inhumane acts, and provides soldiers and also provides weapons to his security detail. This security detail is ruthless. His security detail, if anybody goes to protest against Assad, you will be murdered. You will be detained and you will never be found again. I read countless articles about the people that were killed. Even if you held a funeral to one of your loved ones that protested, you will get murdered for just showing up to the funeral and holding a funeral, because that is an act of treason against Assad. Assad is still in power at this moment. Powers like China and Russia and even Turkey support his actions at this time because their eyes are set on different areas that they feel are more detrimental to their countries. Karen Wallace, Middle Eastern Affairs, stated that once Assad is broken from his rank, who will be the person that takes up this political area? Janine Wallace, Middle Eastern Affairs, PhD in international, stated that the current presidency within Syria is not a presidency at all. It is a man with a knife going to butcher a bunch of lambs. So, I have talked about the origins of Syria. I have talked about the Kurds within Syria. And I have talked about the current president of Syria. We justify our lives and our life worth in this country because it's mandated to us. It's something that we have. People in Syria do not have that. Their lives are like a tissue paper, being wiped down and thrown away, being killed for reasons they have nothing to do with, because someone's family got murdered years ago, so now they're gonna kill you. Value your lives that you have, because our life expectancy is long for some of us. Thank you.